Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yashala, Kol Haloyimla, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rechahakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say throughout it to other Akim and Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. Jachanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Pray that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just wanted to go through some precepts or something that I, as I'm reading and studying, whatever, stands out by the Spirit, I look into the precepts and, Spirit allows, I can do a lesson. I pray that it's edifying. Okay, so now let's go into, let's go into the book of Isaiah. And basically what the lesson is about or getting into is, the Lord, basically, he made you exactly the way that he wanted to make you. And that's it. You can't get around it. The Lord, he created every single being on this planet to be exactly the way that he wanted them to be. He placed them in the nation that he wanted them to be in. He gave them, he placed them in the tribe that he wanted them to be in, the family that he wanted them to be in, whether it's a male or female, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, man's steps are of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Matter of fact, let's see if we can find that first. It's Proverbs 20, I think. It's 24. Yeah, Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? So our goings, everything that we do, everything that we get up, because the scriptures talks about the Lord, he at night, he programs us basically as we're asleep. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Okay, yeah, Job 4 and 13. In thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then the spirit passed me. No, that's not what I want. Salakia, one sec here. Salakia, that's not what I want. I wanted Job 33 and 15. Salakia. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man. So we get our instruction at night, while you're asleep. Or it can be in the daytime while you sleep. You know what I'm saying? Depends on what, shift you work or whenever you lying down, to go to sleep. But the Lord, he programs us. There's no such thing as free will. And you can't just be something other than what he wants you to be. And that's what I wanted to get into. So let's go into the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and 9. Because you have people out here, they want to argue. You got men that want to be women, women that want to be men, lying on the Lord. I was born this way, whatever. Now, the Lord's, the way he thinks, his thoughts are above our thoughts, man. Like this truth is so deep, but yet at the same time too, it's really simple. But there are some ways about the Lord, man, that we couldn't possibly fathom, man. There's plenty of precepts on that. We can't fathom. It talks about the Lord's being unsearchable, so to speak, man. His wisdom, like who has given him counsel? Who can tell him, what to do? Like when you go into the book of Job and the Lord was running down everything that he created. Job, that shows you that's just a smidgen of the power that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has, man, that we can, basically see, with these puny human bodies that we have. But let's get this Isaiah 45 and 9. Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. And that word woe, goes off into, destruction, basically a sorrow, Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou, or thy work? He had no hands. So you can't get to fussing with the Lord or asking him, why did you make me this way? Why did you do this to me? Why did you, because the Lord, matter of fact, let's get this scripture that comes to mind. Exodus 4:11, when Moses, was speaking to the Lord. Let me start at verse 10. It says, and Moses said unto the Lord Yahweh, O my Lord, I am not eloquent in speech. Salakia, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And Yahweh said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? So the Lord, he created, blind people, people that might come out with one damn arm, or may come out as Siamese twins. Your head connected with another person's head. Blind, deaf, mute. The Lord created those people, man. And some people are, some people have the audacity to question, well, why would he do that? Well, why wouldn't he? I mean, he's the creator. He can create what he want. He can do what he want. You see, and it's dangerous questioning the Lord like that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's go to Romans. Yeah, be circumspect about questioning the Lord, man. You don't want to do that. Romans 9 and verse 20. And it reads, let me see. I'm going to start at verse 19. Thou wilt say, then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Because there's no one that can resist the will of the Lord. Nay, but check out what was said right here. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against Yahweh? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? See? What if Yahweh, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory, even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. But the point is, who are you to question, why the Lord chose the Israelites over all the other nations? And then you have these people that's adding themselves into it. No, the Lord couldn't possibly choose one nation over all the other people. Why would he do that? See, that's that questioning. That's that Lord. You questioning the Lord, like, what are you doing? Like, he can't do what he wants to do with his creation. What are you doing? Why would the Lord choose just one set of people? Because he can. I mean, hey, everybody got to, the brothers use the analogy. You may have a favorite pair of shoes out of all. You may have 10 pairs of shoes, but you got one pair that, I really like these. Jake got boxes of Jordans in their closet, but it may be that one pair of Jordans that's their top pair of Jordans. That's them my favorites right there. Or they may have a favorite number. I like the number 5s over the number 1s or whatever. Same thing with a favorite shirt or a favorite piece of jewelry. You have your favorites. Weren't we made in the image of Yahweh H.I.M Yahweh? But see, people place the Lord in this box like, he loves every damn thing. He doesn't have any feelings other than loving you. And the Lord created a lot of different things. Look at the trees. It's all different types of trees. It's all different types of roses. It's all different types of jungle cats. You got lions, you got panthers, you got jaguars, you got Bengals, you got, the Lord created birds, it's all different types of birds. He didn't stop with one type of fish. He got sharks, he got whales, all kinds of stuff in the ocean, man. So, but when it comes to, and actually the Lord, he has a favorite when it comes to those things. It talks about him having a favorite flower, which is the lily. His favorite cattle, which is the sheep. His favorite place, I think, is Jerusalem. Well, of course, it's Jerusalem. I'm trying to think how it's worded. I could have actually found that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, yeah. Second Esdras, let me start. Second Esdras 5. I'm going to start at verse 22. And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again, and said, O Lord, that beareth rule every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee only vine. And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit. And of all the flowers thereof, one lily. See that? And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. And of all builded cities, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself. And of all the fowls that are created, which is all the birds, thou hast named thee one dove. So the Lord, he loves the dove. That's his favorite bird. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. So he likes the sheep out of all the cattle because they're, real humble. And that's what he calls the Israelites, the sheep as well. And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people. See that? You can't get around it. and among all the multitudes of the people, thou hast gotten thee one people. And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all. Who did he give the law to? You go into Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He gave his laws only to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he gave the law, statutes, and commandments to the Israelites. He didn't give them to no other nation. He chose the Israelites as a special people to himself. That's Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Deuteronomy 14 and 2. It's a bunch of scriptures that goes off into that. Where the Lord, he chose the Israelites as a peculiar people unto himself. Above all the other nations, above all the other people that are upon the face of the earth. You can't get around it. Verse 28, it says, And now, O Lord, why hast thou given this one people over unto many? Which means that the Lord scattered us into slavery. And upon the one root hast thou prepared others. And why hast thou scattered thy only one people among many? And that goes off into, see, when it goes off into neither Jew nor Greek in the New Testament, the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth because the Lord was pissed with us, man. He was highly, highly mad at us, for worshiping other idols, worshiping other gods, doing all kinds of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, he scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth. So that's another story. But now let's get back into these precepts as to the Lord. He chose, or you can't say to him, why did he choose his people? Or why did he do this? Or why did he make the sky blue? Or why is water wet? You can't question him, man. You see what I'm saying? So now let's get back into the precepts. Let's get, only got a few more. Wasn't going to be a long lesson like that. I just was going through, was just reading and studying, that stuck out. Isaiah 10 and 15. And it reads, Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? So you got an axe in your hand. You think the axe going to tell you, well, what the hell are you doing, man? Why are you chopping wood with me? No, the axe is just an axe. It's going to do what it was created for. You see? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? So you sawing a piece of wood, is the saw going to look back at you and be like, hey, what you doing? Why are you using me to cut this wood? No, the saw is just created for what it was created for, to cut that wood. And that's the same way that the Lord created all things and all people, man. Everything that's on this planet was made for a purpose. And he created a wicked people. He created the so-called white man for a purpose, to be a sword, to be a whooping stick for the Israelites and other nations as well. He created a wicked people. He created a righteous people. You can't say to the Lord, well, why would you do that? Why would you create a wicked people? Why would you create a righteous people? Why couldn't you just create everybody righteous? Why did you have to kill my mama? Why did my dad have to die? Why couldn't I? All these different questions, man. Hey, you just be thankful, man, to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that, you're alive. And especially if you know this truth, be thankful to the Lord, man. It says, as if a rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself as if it were no wood. You got a staff, and the staff just like, well, what are you, what are you doing? Why are you holding on to me? Like, you can't question the Lord, man. Okay. So now let's go to the next precept. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Is it not yet a very little while? Okay, but yeah, that's the point right there. That's the point. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So, you know, if a person is sitting there and they're making pottery, you know, they got these pottery shops. You can go and take a person out on a date if you want to and go make shit. You're sitting there with the mud, you got the wheels spinning, and, you know, it's kind of, you know, you making what you know. Everybody is going to make something different, but that picture or that ashtray, you might want it to be a vase, you might want it to be for flowers, you might want it to be for trash, you know. You have certain, like, even in your house, say for instance, you may have a barbecue and you may have paper plates and paper cups, plastic cups or whatever for that particular event. But then you may have you know, a dinner where you might break out the fine china, set up the table. Now, is that china going to be thrown out like how those plastic plates and cups are? No, they're the same thing, but they have different usages. You see? So let's go to the next precept. Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 6. O house of Israel, cannot, let me see. All right, yeah, no, let me start up a little bit. Let's start at verse 1. And the word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels. That's just what I was talking about. You know, you go to a potter's house, you can go, you know, and make things and, you know, just go have a good time and just, you know, it's people that's into stuff like that. They actually do it at their house. They'll have a spot in the basement or a spot out in the garage or have a, you know, whatever, you know, to go do stuff like that. You know, it's kind of relaxing and, you know, maybe just relaxing for people. Okay, it says, and the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter, which means that it was destroyed. So he made it again, another vessel as seemed good to the potter to make it. So what do you think he done with the first one? He just kind of threw it to the side. Or if it was reusable, he could have reused it before it dried, you know, so to speak. It says, then the word of the Lord came to me saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel. You see? And that's the reason why, hey, we have no say over nothing when it comes to the Lord, man. You know, he gave us law, statutes, and commandments for us to, you know, to obey. And he gave us rules and regulations as to what would happen if we did, and rules and regulations to what would happen if we didn't. And here we go. We didn't obey the law, statutes, and commandments. We started worshiping other gods. We started, you know, we got into idol worship real big time. And the Lord scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth. Why? Because we are in his hand. He's the potter, and he can do what he please with us. And that goes for every nation. He's dealing with every nation like that. It's not just us. So, and in his last days of prophecy, he's dealing with us right now, where he's bringing us back out of that captivity. He's bringing us back to where we used to be, you know, but there's going to come a point where he's going to really give us new bodies. In a blink of an eye, we're gonna, you know, there's gonna come a worldwide destruction, so to speak, and especially all these nations that have had us in captivity. Their time is played out. They're gonna have to pay for what they've done. You see, so he's gonna deal with them because the whole world, this whole entire universe, the whole thing is in his hands. He fashioned it the way that he wanted to. He gave you the sun for the day, he gave you the moon for the night, stars for the night, you know. He gave you the skies in these different colors, the clouds, rain, thunder, lightning, you name it, man. The Lord is cold, man. Okay, but let's get this last precept. Let's go into the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 33. We'll start at verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. See, he made our ways different. He divided the nations and made each one of those nations different. You see what I'm saying? No, none of these, you got these people out here, well, we're all human. We all bleed the same. Okay, we might be of the same flesh, but we don't have the same spirit, man. All nations are different. So-called blacks are not like so-called Chinese people. So-called Chinese, they can't do what so-called blacks do, and so on and so forth. Every nation has their purpose. The Lord created them for exactly what he wanted to create them for. You can't get around it, man. And see, you got these Christians, these knuckleheads, they find it so hard that the Lord would just choose one people and bless one people and have one people ruling over everybody else. That's just like the so-called white man right now. He's ruling the earth. And nobody has no complaints about that. So when we go out on the highways and byways and we get to talking about we got next, oh no, what you talking about? That's hate speech. But this man has been running the earth for, you know, and especially us. He's been over us for shit half a millennium. At least in the Americas, this man has been over us for like 500 years and still got us in his captivity, man, in captivity. But he's able to rule. But when we get out there on the highways and byways and prophesy the scriptures, which are going to come to pass because they're coming to pass before your eyes right now anyway, that the Lord is going to take these people down that are in rulership right now, and he's going to set us up. They can't believe it. It's hate speech to them. It's ridiculous, man. Okay, it says, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. See that? Hey, this is the way that the Lord done people, man. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. See that? So the Lord, he created everything the way that he wanted it created, man, for his will. Matter of fact, let me see what this Revelations 4:11. It says, thou art worthy, O Yahweh, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. So the Lord created all things for his pleasure, man, whether it be wickedness or evil, or goodness or righteousness. The Lord created all things, man. In that particular chapter, that Ecclesiasticus 32 and 30 and 15, as you read on what I just came out of, it goes off into talking about how the Lord created everything in twos. You see? Matter of fact, let's just go back into it real fast. Let me read back into it. But you get the point, though. I mean, the Lord, he created everything for his pleasure, man. You're not going to get around that. Okay, so Ecclesiasticus, let me get 13 again. Ecclesiasticus 33 and 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. Good is set against evil, see? And life against death, see? So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So the Lord created all these things, man. 15, it says, so look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. See that? So he created a wicked people and created a righteous people. He created up and down, wet, dry, winter, summer. You name it, man. Male, female. It's always going to be one against the other, because that's perfect balance. Positive, negative. Humble, proud, calm, erratic. You see what I'm saying? You can name off anything pretty much. You wet, dry. Anything that you can think of. Anything that you can think of, there's going to always be a complete opposite to it. That's why verse 14, it says good and evil. Good is set against evil. So you got good, evil. Those are two things that are set against each other. Life and death. Those are two things. The godly and the sinner. See that? So, and you can go through the book of Proverbs. It's all through there. But like if you go to, what is that? No, Ecclesiastes 3. And you start from the top, verse 1. And it gives you a list of things that are basically the opposites. It says, verse 1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, that's one, and a time to die. See, that's one against the other. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. See, that's another one. A time to kill and a time to heal. That's another one. A time to break down, a time to build up. That's another one. A time to weep and a time to laugh. That's another one. A time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rent and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. See, you got silence and speech. A time to love and a time to hate. You got love, you got hate. A time of war and a time of peace. So you got war, you got peace. So the Lord created everything two and twos. So he created a wicked people. He created a righteous people. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not wise to question the Lord as to why you done that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you might be able to ask, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like in a smart, sarcastic ass way. Why would you do that, Lord? You know, you may have a genuine question and run up on some of the brothers on the highways and byways, and they can give you an answer why the Lord may have done such, you know, certain things. Now, we don't know it all, you know, because like I said, our mindset is not the Lord's mindset, man. The Lord is all powerful, man. Our puny little brains couldn't possibly comprehend what the Lord is into, man. But anyway, that was the lesson that I wanted to, you know, put together by the Spirit. I pray that it's edifying. Like I said again, hey, the Lord can do what he wants to do. There's nothing you can do about it. The Lord chose the children of Israel, and that's that. So you can question it all you want to, but it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. There's nothing you can do about it. It may seem stupid to you. Oh, but why would he create? So you telling me he created all these? And you know how Jake is, and it mostly comes from Jake, man. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Them will be the ones that's criticizing and giving you the most flack on the streets, man, when we coming out with the scriptures, man. They can't believe that the Lord chose them over everybody else. Well, why would he do that? What about the white man? That's the first thing that runs out of these heroes' mouth, man. What about the white man? They don't ask about nobody else. They don't ask about the so-called Chinese, Japanese, Cambodians, Philippines. They don't ask about nobody. What about the white man? The white man can't be saved. What do you mean? They're not my God. That's Jake, man. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. And I pray that the lesson was edifying with that. Kwam Yashala.